Christian 3 of my cans. That's all I could dig out. He came and asked if I had any. I could only dig out 3 of them. There's probably more in here, but when I'm standing upright, I'm trying to conserve my body still, but I'm also trying to at least make it work. Yeah, it's fucking painful. It's painful to have to walk. It's also even more painful if I don't. If I go 2 days without walking, when I try walking again, it's 10 times worse. Alright, this thing is gonna fucking fall off of here, I know it will. Always happens when I start putting stuff on my dash. God damn it. Oh. Oh my god. Oh, that was fucking gross. Straight up tasted like I lit a fucking filter on fire. Oh my god. I probably fucking did. Anyway, Christian said he's gonna run around and pick up cans, and then he's gonna come back and talk with me. Chris was gonna come back too. On the bright side, he's not so fucked up that he's pissing on my tire again. That was decidedly not fun. I'm starting to run out of battery on everything, so guess I'm gonna start plugging stuff in and hoping it works. Primarily, I need to charge up my spare battery. So I guess I'll start with that. Going up the mountains, I don't know what the purpose of having a phone up there is. with Farnsworth's sister being all pissed off, that kind of screwed up the opportunities that I did otherwise have. Well, there's Jaden and his girlfriend. Walking by with a grocery cart. It's him in the blue hoodie and his girlfriend, I think, in the shopping cart. Anyway, he didn't stop and start any problems with me, so that's good. There's a lot of people that are angry at the things that I have to say. Well, if you don't want to hear them in person, I'll save them for the internet and I'll say them there. If you are too high and mighty to listen to what I have to say, I'm still going to say it. I'm just going to say it to a much bigger audience. And if I have to say it to a much bigger audience, I don't say it nicely. I usually make one video where I'm nice and I try to explain that they're human beings. And I usually make a mean one to go right along with it. Because it's the mean stuff that people hear. It's the mean stuff that they pay attention to. Alright, now if I can find my keys, I can make sure my stuff is charged at least a little bit. There they are. Literally, the stuff that I need help with doesn't take very much fucking time to get it started. It's the fact that I have to wait on somebody else every fucking time. I literally cannot do this shit for myself. I literally cannot. For all these people who've spent, some of them, over 10 hours arguing with me in the last year. Or in the last 8 months. All that time is wasted. All that time where they're stuck, going around in circles, asking literally the same retarded questions over and over again. And those questions are retarded. The fact that I have to say something over 100 times and it still doesn't register to you shows that your brain's going pretty slow. Like the questions that you're asking, why the fuck would you be so retarded as to think that that's a question that you would even need to ask? That's a major issue. There's one of the cute undercover rides. At least it looks pretty. Where are your taxpayer dollars going? They're going to victimize the victims. That's where they're going. They're going to take advantage of poor people who don't have enough money to defend themselves. Don't even have enough to take care of themselves. And these are the people that police go after. These are their bread and butter. Disabled and at-risk adults. Between Chris and Christian, I think it's more likely that Chris will come back. Christian came up and asked for cans. And then he immediately said, oh, I'm just messing, I'm just kidding. No, he wasn't. He was just saying that because he remembered that he was going to pay me back for something and he just didn't get around to it. He repeatedly doesn't get around to it. Now, I could throw a tantrum at him and treat people the way that they treat me, but how much good is that going to do? Let's see if Chris is back yet. Nope, no Chris. The thing is that the lies that the cops want to tell and these other agencies, are they telling this to people in houses of median income? No. People in houses of a median income are often given services the first time around. They're the only ones. Or rich people. But a rich person with a disabled child, when that child becomes an adult, their parents are still rich. Are you really going to force your kid to live on disability money if you're rich? How much of their expenses are you going to take care of? What are you going to expect them to live in or on? Do you take inflation into account? Or the fact that they're automatically less of a human being because of their disability to most of America? You got to hear from, 4 people now trying to use he's mentally ill as an excuse for the bad behaviors of Robert Farnsworth. That's no excuse. What are his actual diagnoses? According to his sister, nothing good. He's a schizophrenic with delusions. That's pretty obvious. But he's also got narcissistic tendencies. That means he acts on his violent thoughts. Now, how many people have I heard say that they'd kill people? Lots of them. And how many people have acted on violent thoughts that they had? Lots of them. Robert Farnsworth ain't the only one. There's also Robert Franklin Mornick in Chapel. Did I ask for him to do the evil shit that he did? Hell no. But I'm still not treated like a human being. The cops in Chapel helped all of my predators to get away, and although it was Nebraska State Patrol's job to investigate them, Nebraska State Patrol would not do the job. They kept on referring me back to Dual County Sheriff's Department or sending me around in circles, only in the end to send me back to Dual County Sheriff's Department. Wow, they got a lot of undercover vehicles. The gray one just drove by. Huh. Must be a hobo in town. Yes, I understand these people all have families. Do they understand that I don't? Does that register to them? People don't like being recorded because then it's not their word versus mine anymore. If they pull something sly, well, it's recorded. That's why a lot of people and I are no longer friends. They wanted to be friends and wanted to be friendly until it came time to keep their word. Or until all of my resources were gone, and then of course they weren't so friendly. Let's see. No. Not Chris yet. Well, I'm waiting patiently. As patiently as I can. I guess we'll see. I'm not a part of the community here. I've never been a part of any community other than Boulder Homeless Community. That was the only community that ever sort of accepted me. The people that were the nicest to me growing up were the ones who did something fucked up and didn't want to get in trouble for it. Oh, fuck this. I got fucking rolling papers. I can roll me a fucking cigarette if I get my fingers to work. There's no reason for me to give anything to the United States government or its people. You've done everything that you can to look away from all of the abuse that I've had to endure. To bullshit me, to lie to me, to repeatedly change the subject to make it you. When your sister gets raped, or your mom gets raped, or your daughter gets raped, keep in mind that happens to boys too. Keep in mind that those are heinous crimes, but they're not the only heinous crimes out there. The reason that people primarily focus on sexual assault. When I say people, I don't mean just women or just men. The reason people primarily focus on sexual assault is because that is literally the only category where women are more likely to be abused than men. Literally the only one. In most categories for violence, women are far more likely to be violent. Women are also far more likely to play head games and to get away with it and to drag others into it. You see with Natalie and Alicia Bollinger how when they didn't get what they wanted right when they wanted it, they got Maddie Boa involved, and Maddie Boa got a lot more people involved. Now, how easy would it have been to take the fucking hint when I drove 1,700 miles to get away from Natalie and Alicia Bollinger? How difficult would it have been for them to take the not so fucking subtle hint and just leave me alone? Not go spreading rumors. Not go and lying to people. Of course, it ain't my first rodeo. That's every woman's go-to when she doesn't get what she wants right when she wants it. That's what we've taught women to do. This is one of the ways that we have taught women that they don't have to take responsibility for their own actions. No matter what, it's always a man's fault. She's competitive with a coworker, so she puts on a shit ton of makeup and says it's men's fault because it's what men are attracted to. Bitch, why are you trying to look good at work? Why don't you try working? Isn't that what you go to work for, is to work? Or do you go to work to hang out and to congregate? Working with men is completely different from working with women. A lot of the men that I know, when they're at work, they're very business attitude and very business minded. A lot of the women that I know that start businesses, first of all, it's not a business that a man would be acceptable for doing that job. Oh, how dare a man do that and call it work? But if you want to do that dainty stuff and call it work, you're allowed. Males aren't supposed to be florists unless they're gay, and so on and so on and so on, and all the stereotypes you expect us to live up to. It's insanity. Dallas telling me he could get me a job on a shrimp boat. No, he couldn't. 10 years ago, yes, but 10 years ago I could have done the work. What none of these people are paying attention to is that I can't take care of myself. And instead of trying to find out why, they want to turn everything into a goddamn argument. And it's not like I'm not trying to explain to them why. It's that they've got their own questions and their own curiosities. They have no interest in helping. Their questions don't show that they're interested in fucking helping. Their questions show that they're looking for excuses to do jack shit. But they are trying to fill in time. And there's a lot of people that, they'll do nice stuff for me, but 6 months down the road, they're going to throw it in my face. Remember that time I bought you lunch? Remember that time I got you a sandwich? Oh, Chris is back like you said he was gonna. But it looks like he's going next door to do some shopping. Christian has not come back like he said he was gonna. I didn't expect him to. There's a lot of people that they get stuck in that frame of mind like crack. Like, this is the treatment that poor people get, especially if they're homeless. We get the runaround. We get lied to by police and by all these services because we don't matter. And they're so used to lying to poor people. And these poor people are so used to hearing it, they actually believe this shit. They never bother to look it up. A lot of these people don't have phones. They could have phones. It's a lot of work to get the phone, and you have to jump through a lot of stupid hoops, and you have to deal with a lot of shitty attitudes. Waiting on Christian to come back. 3 cans from me and said he'd be right back after he ran and got some more cans. I don't expect I'll see him again until he walks into another establishment not expecting me to be there. I hope everything went well. Have I? No, but I haven't been looking for her. She's gonna come see me? Why would you come see me?
No, she was coming down.
Oh. She might be parked over there. I wasn't paying attention. Gas. I think I have enough to get up. Well, I do have enough to get up there and back. It's just my biggest worry. I'm doing all the running around I got to do is always gas. Or having to pay people for help. But, you know, I mean, I've spent over $100 on help I didn't get this month. Well, I'm not violent. See, that's one of the biggest things. My predators are violent. And when I speak up, they pretend I'm violent.
I just talk smack.
I know.
There ain't gonna be nobody unless they hurt my kids.
And see, that's the point, is that people were threatening to kill my friends and family. That includes kids. They've been doing that for 7 years. All right. If they got any sparkling grape juice, they should have it on sale. Somebody was telling me it's on sale for like $3 a bottle. Sparkling grape juice. Yeah.
Be right back.
Somebody told me they have the sparkling grape juice on sale. There's Jaden walking away. I don't know how to zoom it in. Fuck it. Anyway, he didn't come over and start any problems. He didn't try starting a fight. Might have made a couple of snide comments, but I was too busy talking to give a shit. Alright, well, that external battery charger is kaput. How much is on this one? 1%. Alright, I guess we'll plug this one in. There's a bunch of stuff I needed for camp, because I do need it for camp. But I don't need people spending a bunch of money in the wrong direction. Like, as far as my camp goes, it's not a safe spot. It's not a good place for my stuff to be. It's not a good place for me to be. So investing more money into more stuff for up at camp, that I've already got too much stuff up there. Police officers tell me if people are calling and harassing me from restricted numbers, just don't answer the restricted numbers. And then they call me from a restricted fucking number, knowing that I'm getting harassment calls from restricted numbers. Knowing that they themselves told me not to answer them. They're fucking harassment calls. How can I tell if it's a harassment call or not? Unless I answer. And then, of course, because I'm waiting on a police officer to call, I end up answering 50 or 60 of those fucking things for it to be some fucking jackass. If the cops do call, they only call once. These services as well. From unlisted or restricted numbers over and over and over again. Your shit's going to court. Or it's going on the internet. I'm trying to get it into court. I only have the means to put it on the internet. I needed your help so that I could get this stuff into court instead of having to post it on the internet. But instead of helping me to get it into court, you forced me to post it on the internet. Are y'all not getting my MO? Don't bullshit me. I have to fight intelligently and strategically. I also have to show the American public what it's really like, how much different the laws are and the rules are. How it's not illegal to harm me, it's only illegal for me to pretend like I might do such a thing back to somebody. A lot of people wanted to be hateful at me for changing so much. Motherfucker, I'm showing signs of severe trauma and abuse. Thanks for being a fucking supportive asshole. On the bright side, that sparkling grape juice is good stuff. Something about the carbonation is good for my sinuses and good for my throat. And if it's the Welch's stuff, I think the lady said it's the Welch's sparkling grape juice. Oh my god, that stuff is so good. And it's 100% grape juice. Well, grape juice and carbonation. But it's fucking squeezed grape juice. That's literally what it is. And because this grape juice has got really, really good antioxidants in it. Very specific type of antioxidant that is really important for your vision and important for your hearing, oddly enough. Helps to prevent you from getting ear infections. I didn't realize that eating grapes was supposed to be so good for that. Now, wine fermentation makes it so that it takes a lot of that stuff out. The yeast is a catalyst, and it, of course, converts the sugars into alcohols, but it also utilizes the free oxygens within the grapes in order to assist it in the alcohol-making process. So all of the good stuff as far as those specific antioxidants are destroyed in the process of making alcohol, and they also bond differently. It also is part of the reason why if you let it sit for a while, it'll actually change flavors. Now for me, I don't like alcohol, so I quit drinking. But I also, I don't need the life extending properties of alcohol in the form of wine. The antioxidants that I need are the ones for Well, for somebody who's not trying to live forever, but just needs their joints and their ears and their eyes to work, I need to reduce the amount of ear infections that I get. Alcohol is also really good for killing a lot of the stuff that might be in your bloodstream, but it breaks down your immune system in the proper process. It also deprives your brain of oxygen, which kills your brain. The more you do it, the more areas of your brain end up dead. Now, I watched this film about the areas of the brain that alcoholism affects, and it shows how the primary areas, the different parts that go first, and basically the video explains probably in the first 5 minutes what people's standard belief is. Well, it shuts off this part and this part, as shown by the black areas in this chart of your brain. The black areas are dead areas where there is no information and no signal being sent whatsoever, no electrical signal. It's just dead fat rotting inside of your head. Kind of, but not really. The electrical signals aren't being sent there because that part of your brain is no longer active. It's dead. The cells are still alive, but the signals, I guess the way to say it or to explain it is that you've got houses and you've got people living in the houses. But if you shut off the electricity, those houses are still there, and it's going to take a while for them to decay. The people are still there. They're not dead just because the power went out. They still serve a function. Now, in the first 5 minutes, it outlined some of this, right? And then the rest of the video is showing how it's all complete bupkis. It kills your entire brain. It shuts down many portions of your brain. And some of them, after they've been depleted, you got about 2 years. After that 2 years is up, your brain is not going to repair itself anymore. At least not in that particular area. Part of the reason for that is because your brain has to find a different route, different neural pathways to achieve the same goal. If there's a portion of your brain that the alcohol affected more than others, happen to saturate a little bit more in that area than others, it may kill the cells in that area in a greater abundance than in other portions of your body. A lot of the power from your heart goes to pumping blood into your brain. For us humans, our brains are the most important part that we have. Obviously, look around at all the stuff that we've got. Do you see any chimpanzees driving around in automobiles? Do you see any chimpanzees making automobiles? Do you see chimpanzees inventing anything? No. Some chimpanzees have reinvented the stick. Some species of chimpanzees have reinvented the rock. No chimpanzee has, of its own volition, taken a rock and a stick and lashed them together to make a hammer. Meanwhile, what kind of stuff could I use up at camp? Not much. I mean, most of the stuff that would be useful is going to be heavy and it's going to be a burden. On the bright side, I got my super loud squeaker toy. I won't use it without my headphones on, it's too loud. Chris said he'd come back, and he usually does, so hopefully he'll be here shortly. Christian, on the other hand, he's as I expect him to be. Oh, here's Chris. No Amanda yet, but I didn't get out and look. Oh my God, they did have it. Was it $2.99?
No, but it's apple grape.
Oh, Martinelli's. Hell yeah, it wasn't fucking expensive, I hope.
Huh?
It wasn't expensive, I hope.
No.
Alright, good.
You get more ounces than I do with Red Bull.
So it's like $4 for this?
Huh?
It's like $4 for this?
Yeah, somewhere in there.
That's about what a Red Bull costs. Those things got real expensive.
Huh?
I said those things got real expensive.
It's supposed to rain tonight.
Well, I better get back up to camp then and put my stuff away. There's a lot of stuff get ruined by the rain. I don't know, parking like an asshat. Are you running your mouth? Anyway, most of the stuff I gotta do is just little simple paperwork. I just have a lot of it. So I gotta try to pay people to help me with that. But the people that I'm paying ain't showing up. And that makes it so that everything drags out.
Yeah, I would,
No matter what, everybody gets stuck on that housing thing. Like, I had housing multiple times. The problem with housing is that it doesn't stop abuse. Once I've been targeted in an area, like I have here, like my options are either find help locally that actually gives a shit, that isn't full of shit, or move to somewhere else. And I can't keep moving to somewhere else. I can't afford to move. Probably a lot of drugs.
the time we were way back in the woods. And I'm somewhere around the corner, and here's this fucking semi. Like, what the fuck are you doing? He's like, oh, go.
You got lost?
Fucking took you one fucked up route, bro. You know, highway traffic that
No. Well, I got stuck on about an 80-mile stretch of just a trucker's road. I didn't know what a trucker's road was until I got to the very end of it, and some guy's like, yeah, that's a trucker's road. The only people that drive on that are truckers and people who get lost. There's a reason it's not labeled like a big city. It's just basically labeled in numbers and letters that a trucker would understand. I'm like, well, okay. But it was seriously like 80 miles. The whole time I was walking it, I only saw like 3 vehicles. 2 trucks and a car that got lost. You wouldn't happen to have a can opener, would you? Or a beer bottle opener? Because it's going to shoot. That'll work. That's a cool carbiner. Yeah. I knew it was gonna. But I was wise enough not to get any on your keys. Here you go. Anyway, a lot of the stuff that I had to do, I need help to do it. None of these services that I'm being sent to are going to help, even though legally they're supposed to. And then people don't know the laws. They just believe whatever they're told. They're not paying attention to the fact that here in Oregon, people are being arrested, even police officers, for the things that are being done to us, that people around here are of the opinion that it's legal. It's not. They say, oh, it's just Tillamook. Just like the people in Chapel say, oh, it's just Chapel. No, it's everywhere. Poor people don't fucking matter. And other poor people don't look out for poor people because everybody's taught every man for himself.
I'm poor.
Yeah. So am I. We don't make a very good team.
So I was going to show you this shelter.
Where's it at?
You know, it's like I was thinking about fabricating for people.
Have you made one already?
No, I just seen the plans online, but I can't find it.
Well, I got all sorts of stuff for that. The problem is having a place to put it.
Yeah.
I almost had the money for property. My disability money, my back payments, almost $20,000 I was supposed to get. I didn't get it. It all got spent on running around in circles and paying up people who harmed me, physically assaulted me, paying for gas to go back and forth, paying for therapy appointments, paying to go to talk to public defenders that didn't show up, going to talk to investigators. Literally 100% of the time when the investigators with the public pretender's office were supposed to meet me, 100% of the time they were a no-call, no-show. My public pretenders showed up maybe 1 out of every 3 times we were supposed to meet. And then they couldn't meet up with me except on a different day than my court. So on the court dates, they basically tell me what they're going to do, don't confer with me whatsoever on what they're doing, don't bother to find out what's going on, and then it's a shit show, and they fucking let it drag out until there's no longer an opportunity for discovery. They literally would do jack shit for me, and that's how it is to this day. It doesn't matter if it's a public pretender or a police officer. This is inhumane as all hell. And people say in general that it's wrong, but the thing is, I see the people who are making progress, and it's the people who are actually working together. I do see poor people working together when there's a serious problem and, you know, actually making progress, but they actually have to work together. 600 people at Camp Hope. 600 people at Camp Hope, just south of Spokane, Washington. Out of those 600 people there, how many of them actually went down together to the city planning office? How many of them went down together to speak to the local sheriff? How many of them actually worked together to go in, instead of each one individually when there's a problem, having to talk to the cops alone, having to talk to the city planners or the city DA's office, having to do so alone, and every one of them being denied because their dumbasses went in alone. Then there's a bunch of people telling me it'll never work, and then they tell me their excuse, and their excuse is often something that they went through where they went in alone. And the point there is that I'm right, not them. They say, oh, well, I went through it and, you know, it sucked and they didn't do anything. And I say, well, did you go in by yourself? Yeah. Well, that's why you got fucked. People go in by themselves, poor people especially, are taught that they have to go in by themselves. Don't stick your nose in other people's business unless you want it to get bit off, right? But then when they're done with our neighbors, they come after us.
I go in here, do my work,
All right.
go home, go to sleep, wake up, and fucking go right back. I'm asleep.
That's how I was until I hurt my back. And then I still tried to work like a fucking dumbass and hurt myself worse.
See you later.
Yes, sir.
Good night. Remember, it might rain tonight.
Yes, sir. it said something went wrong, tap to try again. It don't look like Christian showed up. Or showed back up, and it don't look like he's gonna. Guess I had to go say hello to Amanda in case she's here and then head off into the world. Pick up my soda cap so I can buy things in the world after the apocalypse. Just kidding, that's a video game. What, is it making funny noises?
No. I don't know what I was thinking. I was thinking, damn, I want to move for the rest.
Well, I have a tool for it. Look.
Are you kidding me? It's an open spot right here.
Don't.
Okay, I'm not a gambler, but I go all in on that thing that you're a Rosa Flex car.
So she had to park right here. What's the big one?
Not bad.
She's weird.
Yeah.
We gotta set her back.
Okay. Hey, can you talk?
We should.
That's fine.
Be hilarious, though.
Really fun.
Yeah.
Can you do it, Billy?
Oh, I can't do it. Really?
Yeah, I'm leaving now because we sort of gas and you can see the fire back there, so that way it's not by now.
Get out of here, man. He's looking, staying serious, you know that. Those are crazy.
They really weren't looking
Like, really feel like that?
She said the clothes.
Yeah, really.
They can't be flammable, though, it's all washed up.
Damn, well,
They just stink.
I was just trying to put 2/4 into that blood, see if they would.
Well, I didn't plan on lighting a cigarette in here anyway.
No kidding.
I'm probably gonna head out. I don't think I'm gonna be able to come back to town until Monday. I gotta, like I said, try to conserve gas for the rest of the month.
Still out there?
Yeah,
Are you off a logging road?
yeah.
I'm way back in on the logging road.
I had to go way back in. I don't want people to mess with me. On the bright side, it's a place far back enough that people aren't gonna mess with, well, hopefully aren't gonna mess with me. Well, probably be back in town on Monday though.
Your jump box is all charged and everything?
No. That's right, if I bring it in and charge it for a bit.
Yeah.
Right.
All right, big round, now we got to go. All right.
He's absolutely right about my jump box. So between that and my stuff that needs charged, I should probably try to get it charged. There's only one outlet, so just have to deal with it, you know. All that time by myself, you guys don't get it. Like, I don't have social time. I don't have friends that I go out and do fun shit with. I used to in Boulder. I used to have people that we'd go on hikes, go up in the mountains, go camping, go longboarding. After I hurt my back, a lot of that stuff I wasn't able to do, though. I led a pretty active lifestyle. This doesn't taste like 100% juice. Ah, it says 100% juice from U.S. grown fresh apples and grape concentrate. It's very sweet. Hope I can carry it. When I try to explain people what fatigued means, it's almost like I'm speaking a foreign language to people. Like they don't understand what fatigued means. Well, imagine the end of a really, really long, hard day of physical labor. At the end of the day, you're fatigued. Now imagine that compounded by years, literally. And it's not just physical fatigue, it's also mental fatigue. All these people expect me to do things to get help. Well, if I was able to do those things, I wouldn't need help. I'm unable to do a lot of things because of my disabilities. But those disabilities magically don't exist to the cops or the courts or to my predators or my so-called friends when it's beneficial to them. By beneficial to them, I don't mean in a sense of decency. I mean in a sense of monetary gain, physical gain. Every single one of my friends exploited the shit out of me for trying to get help. The people who claimed they would help me to turn it in, they didn't even give a shit enough to find out what was going on. How the hell are you gonna help me if you don't care what's going on? If you're gonna keep pushing housing, are you helping me to get fucking housing, or are you making me run around in circles? Meanwhile, I need to turn in crimes.
I'm allowed to go get a drink of water. Just doing what my body needs.
Right. Which is dangerous, like,
She just was fucking dumbfounded with stuff. Like, wow, it really feels like you're exercising power and control over me now. You know? I'm pretty sure Dan was there. Everybody looked at me like, dude, you really doing this right now? It's like, well, fuck, I need to go to the bathroom.
right.
There's only one way that's happening.
Yeah. No, you can go right there.
There's one. All right. Now in 4 hours.
I don't like that about twice that big though.
Hey, Sean. You know, you have a hole in your pants in your butt cheek. Sean.
It's air conditioning.
That's my butt. I can feel my butt. It would have been nice if you'd have told me with cheek instead of making my Pokemon cornhole and Opa wasn't there.
So, what's that pants you wear?
Apparently 32 32s. These are 34 34s.
What time it is? There's no button.
I was expecting someone named Emily.
Got Emily's boss, Albert Patel. This was too important, so I had to shoot him right upstairs to me. Sadly, I'm an expert. These two. What do you have to say for yourself? I think.
Oh,
We're sorry. Yeah, I guess we're sorry. Well, you guys, you're sorry. Apologies let that fly so while you're elementary.
Yeah, they tell me.
There he is. No, he's not.
oh my God, it
Oh,
is.
fuck yeah, it's him.
Still my drive?
No brakes.
No, it's
You like
driving.
striped shirts?
He's driving, he's still driving. Oh, no, what? It's in the dryer. Jesus, I want to get, I'm supposed to have everything ready with no basket. Oh my God, what do you put it in?
These are 34 32s, buddy.
Hmm?
These are 34 32s.
Oh, thank you.
I don't think you want those.
Stand
Might
down.
help you take one.
The clothes and the dryer.
Probably not too long to cut off.
Well, if you got a nice pink sundress, I'll totally don that up there.
Those are too big for my ears. Those are. I feel like being on the beach. Huh? Want it?
No, thank you though. It's got cute boats.
You want any of these?
Oh my God, the Freddy Krueger shirt. Do you have a mask to go with it? I've got the hat.
This one? You want it? You want any of these?
No, I don't like Freddy Krueger.
Well, there's a pair of pants.
Thank you for the pair of pants without a hole in the butt. You're welcome to
This
the
guy
laugh.
having an attitude now?
It's asshole, it's asshole, I know.
Huh?
I didn't want my clothes after dry. I'm like, wow, okay, I just wasted 2 quarters on this now. What do we have there for that? Probably, let me see, I'm gonna see it.
I've been tasting it, but I'm cold. Yeah, seriously, we're responders. We respond. That's our job. Let's go.
Sorry, man. We belong with you. The truth is, you can't afford to be in the office. Hey, that's not for the box. I'm going to do the next full back.
Do you want me to stop? Don't miss out in Privacy Kitchen, Monday on Fox. A desperate plea from parents of disabled children. We are begging legislators to listen. This is way more than just politics to us. Why they're putting pressure on lawmakers to revive a program they've come to
Maybe we should
rely on.
drive.
A
worry about you getting shot.
You know, if childcare wasn't so expensive for them mothers there with their disabled kids, those disabled mothers could afford to buy guns and protect their rights.
Well, that's a good thing.
The new charges President Donald Trump says he's now facing just months after a previous indictment in a separate case. That's first on Fox. Good evening. First on former President Donald Trump is expected to be indicted on 7 federal counts in a classified documents probe. That is according to 2 people who were not authorized to discuss it publicly. The former president broke the news himself earlier today on the and be indicted.
This comes from previous indictment in New York in an alleged hush money case. Also, with the details, yeah.
The news comes after several months of a federal investigation into alleged mishandling of classified documents as the former president moved from the White House to Mar-a-Lago. Former President Donald Trump said he's been indicted again, this time on federal charges in connection with his retention of classified documents while out of office. This is the first federal indictment of a former president. This is warfare for the law. This comes after a months-long investigation led by a special counsel appointed by Attorney General Merrick Garland. Trump's facing at least 7 counts related to document handling and obstruction of justice.
This is something that was expected, but is nevertheless, in a whole bunch of ways, really kind of breathtaking.
The FBI raided Trump's Mar-a-Lago home in Palm Beach, Florida last summer. Agents found hundreds of documents marked classified.
It was a rush to get indicted. You know, you look at the other cases, compare this to Hunter Biden's case, Joe Biden's case, Vice President Pence's.
Despite the legal controversies, Trump is still the 2024 Republican frontrunner, and he could be up against President Joe Biden again. Other Republican candidates already in the race are throwing Trump support amid the indictment. Overrunning lead, Mike Pence, now his competition in a growing GOP field, says an indictment is unfitting.
I think it would send a terrible message to the wider world.
Trump faces a criminal case in New York City and another investigation out of Georgia over potential election interference. The former president said that he has been ordered to appear in federal court in Miami on Tuesday. For his handling of classified documents, the White House has denied any response.
Thank you for breaking that down for us. Tigard police say a drag queen story hour event at the public library has been canceled for this Sunday due to threats of violence. Police made the announcement on Twitter today. They say due to repeated threats of violence and the information indicating the safety of community members may be at risk, they made the decision. The library will be closed all day Sunday. The city says it values the safety of kids, families, and rely on the library as inclusive and welcoming. Toughest gun control laws in the nation has been facing a federal court test all week.
Just 1 day remains in the 5-day trial that's challenging the constitutionality of Measure 114. Fox 12 So-Young Kaplan in downtown Portland tonight with the story. So-Young.
Nora, Measure 114 has remained contentious even after Oregonians passed the measure in November. We spoke with a family member of a gun violence victim who testified here in court today, received a statement from a gun rights group that's challenging the constitutionality of the measure, and also spoke with a gun law expert who breaks down what this trial is all about.
Back at the time of the Constitution, were there similar restrictions that the founders of our country may have been thinking about when they passed the Constitution?
Months after Oregon voters passed a highly contested gun control measure, the move is being debated in a federal trial. It's also being discussed by experts and those who experienced gun violence. The trial being held before a judge will determine whether Oregon's gun law, Measure 114, violates the U.S. Constitution.
Asking 2 issues on a constitutional basis. So the first one is the requirement that Oregon residents take a safety course and get a permit yearly per purchase a firearm. The second provision is the magazine capacity restriction.
Violence written by federal warfare state section meets measure 114 is a step in the right direction for gun safety and to reduce gun violence.
My mom, Samuel, was shot in the Bachman Town Center shooting on December 11th on the phone. We should not have to worry about getting shot and killed when we go Christmas shopping at the mall. And there are other first world countries who have high rates of gun ownership and low rates of gun violence. This is not an issue that is possible to solve either.
Those challenging Measure 114 say it's unconstitutional. In a statement, a spokesperson for the Oregon Firearms Federation says, quote, as noted at the trial, Measure 114 bans virtually all firearm magazines, not just those over 10 rounds. Measure 114 would require sheriffs to violate the law if they issued a permit because it mandates FBI checks, and the FBI has stated they won't provide them. It's hard to imagine how that could be constitutional. Experts say regardless of the decision from this trial, the ruling will likely be appealed and may eventually end up heading up to the Supreme Court. Live in downtown Portland, Sonia Kim, Fox 12 Oregon.
Say on 13, police in correction are asking the public to help them find a woman who's been missing for years.
At least I have bear mace. Hello.